NASCAR returns to Bowman Gray this weekend as we relive history and rewrite history back in the last time NASCAR Cup Series came to this venue, 1971 here, as we are on NR 2003 recreating that piece of history here at the Madhouse for 100 laps of racing in Bowman Gray. I am driving the number 2 as Bobby Allison, the driver who eventually won that race, accredited by NASCAR within recent history for that victory. Now, as we start 100 laps of Bowman Gray, my first time ever actually taking in this venue. I've never watched a race at Bowman Gray. I've never put a lap on this track in any form of video game, so this is my first bit of any experience with this Bowman Gray Stadium racetrack. So excited for the real life NASCAR clash this weekend as we rewrite history here, as we are just trying to, for myself, take it slow, be patient, as well learn this concept or this era of NASCAR stock car, now of course from the 1970s, very different compared to what I'm used to, but you can see here I am on the inside trying to make my way forward. Immediately what I was finding problems with was the steering. It was so understeery on the exit of these corners, so I was having to be really patient on the throttle as well as the wheel on the exit. You can see how much I'm cranking the wheel fully upside down just to get this car to rotate in the center of the corner, and you're holding it left on the whole straightaway. You're never really turning right at any point throughout this lap, so just trying to be patient. Like I said, we have only enough room on this racetrack for 28 cars, so we started 29 cars and we started 28th, and we're slowly trying to work our way forward, but a bit of contact there with the Coca-Cola number 36 Plymouth, and actually it's going to lead to an incident. Surprisingly, no caution. We continue on here. I've noticed just in a bit of testing, I've done cautions are a bit weird. Sometimes you'll get them, sometimes you won't. It just seems to depend on where the car is crashing, but I got a little bit too aggressive right there, pushing it on the exit of the corner as we run P25, and you see in the top left of your screen 89, 88 now laps to go, as the leader, actually currently Dan Gurney, I believe, was currently out in front or up there in at least a mix. He was one of the notables I was paying attention to throughout this race. But yeah, you can see myself still struggling to go forward. One thing I've noticed as I continue to play NR 2003 is very simple, that as the run goes longer, it seems like I start to move my way forward. So I was kind of keeping that in the back of my mind here, because you can see I'm struggling early on. I mean, we got up to P25, but now we are 15 laps into this race and we're barely going forward. We do gain a spot here, but just can't open up the wheel and actually tag the number 30 on the exit of turn 2. It's just so tight, and if I try to throttle up, I'm going to run into that car next to me, but certainly running out of patience already, and we're not even 20 laps in. That's one of the things this track is known for: drivers losing patience, losing their tempers, and a lot of the time it turns into some drama, sometimes embarrassing drama. I've seen many highlights in my lifetime of Bowman Gray that were incredible, but as well I've seen some highlights that were embarrassing for motor racing. It goes both ways at this historic racetrack now, but we continue to move our way forward up into P24, continuing to follow this 36 Coca-Cola machine, but we actually got to P23 now as we come through to nearly already 25 laps into this race, and you can see the leader's actually Dan Gurney, currently in P2. And it's actually Bobby Allison in that 29 that's leading this race currently. And you saw the 3 wide. He's getting after it. Aggression early on here. Now, not a lot of beating and banging between AI cars. Certainly some leaning on doors and using up bumpers between myself and the AI now as we continue to look for an opportunity to move our way forward. But again, right there, you just see the exit of the corners is so hard to get on that throttle and open the wheel, so I'm kind of banking on pushing it really hard on the entrance. Actually a bit of contact with the Coca-Cola machine, and that'll allow us to get clear. You got to get aggressive here at Bowman Gray. It doesn't matter what era of racing you're in. This is a short track. You got to get after it, and the leader is going to be coming at you quick as well, so you don't want to, of course, be at risk of going a lap down, especially early in this race. Now, as we still have 70 laps of racing to go, we're up to P22, and we've gotten the elbows out, we've gotten a bit aggressive here early on in these opening 30 laps, and we're going to continue to be aggressive throughout the rest of this race. Of course, not going to try and wreck anybody, but certainly not going to hesitate to move anybody out of the way and beat doors and fenders and whatnot. As this number 30, I was surprised by how defensive they were driving down the straightaways, just making sure that I could not get to their insider. Sorry, 0-3, not 30, as we come through to the final about 65 laps we're approaching in this Bowman Gray Stadium. And yeah, I was finding it really difficult time to make this overtake for 21st as we continue in P22. And again, we can actually really get the car to roll on the exit right now. When you hook up the corner, it feels great on exit, but if you just get the center of the corner a little bit wrong, you're really going to be plowing on the exit, and you just have to back it down and just wait for the car to rotate. But we finally are going to get clear on the outside, so certainly learning a little bit early on, and with 60 to go, that the outside is a option if need be. Not maybe the preferred option, but it's certainly possible, as now we have run down this group of top 20 cars. We got that 31 Dodge right in front of us now. Always love that very cool rear wing right there on the back of that Plymouth. It is such a cool race car. And we are, I mean, beating and banging on the back of that, almost the Wrangler colors, actually, the blue and yellow. Very cool color scheme on that car. Now, I don't know a lot of the names of the drivers that I'm racing against, of course, in this era. One thing I'm wanting to do this year is exactly this. Race more in the history of NASCAR, and as well educate myself more on the history of NASCAR compared to my current experience. So that's something I'm looking to build upon this year, and I'm hoping that this history rewritten or relived series is going to allow us to, or allow myself to do exactly that as the year continues on through 2025. So you can see though, now to the inside again of that 31, we just made a pass, and we're up into P19, so up into this top 20, actually getting into the left rear of that 31. He saves it, thank goodness there, just getting a little bit too aggressive on the exit of the corner now, and here comes, oh my goodness, that's the 27, that just knocked us out of the way now, as I'm going to give it right back to that 27, a shot to the bumper. They stay ahead now, as that's going to drop us a position. Wasn't happy about that, the AI giving it back to us now, and I'm certainly going to make sure they get it back as well, as we look to their rear bumper again on the exit, nearly into the left rear, still trying to move them out of the way. And here we go now to the inside, saying, hey, you're going to get into the side of me, you're going to make sure you get it back a lot harder than you gave it to me. So another door bang down the straightaway, and we continue side by side through the corner, through 1 and 2, and just cannot get the car to rotate on at the exit, and we're going to turn them into the pit entry. That was actually surprisingly an accident. I was not trying to do that, and certainly looking like an idiot there, and surprisingly, no caution. We stayed green. As we come to 42 laps to go, and we continue to battle traffic. The 27 just comes back out on the track in front of us, and we're now involved in an accident, and an immediate dose of maybe some karma there. We get it back going. How is there no caution is really what I would like to know. I mean, we just had a car crashed in the middle of the racetrack, and now we're back outside the top 20. Somehow we're still on the lead lap in Bowman Gray, hoping really for a caution at this point. That would be very helpful as we come up to these final 40 laps of racing, and now we're P21, trying to move back into the top 20 around the outside, and actually we will do exactly that, but certainly not what we needed to have impact our race. So a little bit annoyed about that, but I mean, in reality, I was the one that ignited that all. So the only one here that can really take any blame on that one is myself. So again, maybe being a little bit too aggressive at points, but we just made that pass there for 19th, and now we're looking for P18 again, trying to work our way forward, and we will do exactly that. That's P18 now, and you can see that group of cars that we are running down in front of us, and just as I expected, as the race goes on, the pace seems to be getting better, and we're finding speed as these laps go on. A shot to the back of the 0-3. I knew he was going to be very defensive like earlier, so I just didn't want to deal with it. So I knocked him out of the way. I said, see you later. That'll put us up at a P17 as we continue to run down now the top 16 cars with 32 laps to go here from this Bowman Gray Stadium. The Madhouse now right to the back and now to the left rear quarter panel very briefly, but now cleared again by the 46 now. But we would get eventually to the inside of the 21 of Kale Cale Yarborough actually on our outside for the Wood Brothers Racing team. I just love how that scheme has, that concept has stuck around with the same colors and the same ideology, for so many decades now within the sport. I mean, it is so cool as we continue to actually get knocked out of the way. More contact. I believe that was a 21 of Yarborough. It was, but fortunately Yarborough is not able to get back to my inside, so we clear him and stay ahead now as we look to the inside of the 48, trying to get into the top 15 right now is our goal. My main goal here is finish top 10. 100 laps starting at the back of the field, I felt like a realistic goal if things worked out in our favor, was a top 10. Not really much more than that. Obviously, we're not going to have a chance to win this race. Even if a caution comes out, we're not going to be able to win this race now. And speaking of caution, the yellow's going to come out as I completely dump the 31 as we exit turn 4 again. My aggression gets the best of me there, just being impatient, waiting for the car to rotate. So we would maintain the lead lap. We were up to P13 for a restart with 18 laps to go, and now it is in fact the 121 Dan Gurney out in front of this race over Bobby Allison. Cale Yarborough on the inside. He's a lap car now, so Allison gonna try and maintain P2 as he's gonna have to clear Yarborough. You see Richard Petty there in the 43, but yeah, that yellow obviously entirely my fault, as again just struggling to be patient on the exit of these corners when I know the car is just not going to rotate. I just try to throttle up and get it going, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So we were, I believe, actually we were the last car on the lead lap when that caution came, so a bit helpful on time when I decided to be an idiot there. So now just over 15 laps to go, and we're fighting right now side by side with the 46. This is for P12, so the top 10 still very much in the cards now as we continue to roll forward now and up to the outside right against that guardrail now. So we run P12 looking to the outside of the 07, and we would maintain on this outside, and actually as we come to 14 to go, we're going to get aggressive. 3 wide in the middle, a pass around the outside of that car behind us was P11, and now it's very tight racing here. 3 wide, not the easiest thing to do at a tight track like Bowman Gray, but fortunately for myself, we managed to make these passes, and that puts us into P10 behind the 00. So coming to now 11 laps to go, we passed the 00. That was P9, and now we're up to P8 as we exit turn 2 and get clear. So in the top 10, that was the main goal. In these final 10 laps, we've done exactly that. The question is, can we go any further? I'm hopeful that we can here now as we come to 9 to go. The 17 right there in front of us for position. That's P7, P6, P5. They're all right there in front of us, but I don't know if we have enough laps to make 3 passes. Maybe 1, maybe 2 at the most. That's the goal. Maybe get 1 before this race comes to a conclusion. Now going back to the outside because we know it's proven to work a few times throughout the day, but you can see right there plowing on the exit of the corner, and now again we're gonna have to settle back to the inside and wait for the right opportunity. And now as we exit for actually a decent exit, and that's going to keep us glued right to the back of the 17 and quite literally into the back of them right there, as now we continue to look for the right opportunities. P7 right there in front of us as we exit turn 4, and it's close and actually into the side of the 10, and that's going to send him crashing into turn 1. He's going to wipe out the 17, and that's actually going to bring out a yellow surprisingly, and that's going to end the race. As that was all happening, you see me there, I had my alarm going off, and I had to turn that off, which is why I was reaching over, and unfortunately in that process I ended up causing a crash. So that wasn't the reason the crash happened. That was just simply my driving. It was Dan Gurney picking up the win under caution here from Bowman Gray as we rewrite history from 1971's NASCAR Cup Series last time at Bowman Gray. That does it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.